Okie dokie. Guys, welcome. All right, to the call. There'll be a lot more people come on as we go. We've been having a great response from these calls. What I'm going to do tonight is first I'm going to have a special guest, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about momentum, and I'm going to share some things with you guys that was shared with us as elite distributors. And guys, one of the things I want to tell you guys about these calls is the reason that we do them is so that you guys can get information from elite distributors that you won't get anywhere else. You won't get on other calls, on Pro 4 calls or whatever the company does. We have 2 elite calls every week, and I try to be on them so that we can share information with you guys. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to, hey, Ivy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Guys, what I'm going to do first, and I hope he has his line unmuted, I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let you guys hear a little bit about his story. If you got the text today, I had the opportunity to go to Ohio just a couple weeks ago, and I had a chance to spend some time with our special guest. And I just really, I seem to love everybody, but there's just certain people that I really get a connection with. And as I said, I'm not going to steal his thunder, but my guest tonight is John Rankins, and John is from Toledo. John is a health coach. He just is an awesome guy. He was a equivalent to an elite distributor in his last company. But I'm going to let him tell his story a little bit. Hey, Wendy.
Hey there.
I'm going to let him tell his story a little bit. So, John, if you're there and you're unmuted, just give me a little mic check so I can make sure that we can hear you well enough. Are you there, buddy? I can hear it. It sounds like...
Yeah. Hey, Mike, can you hear me okay?
I can, John. There you go, buddy. Awesome. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Okay, well, first off, thank you for having me on. And yeah, it's definitely a privilege. I would like to first say, you know, when it comes to LifeVantage, I'm just getting going. Actually, we've been in about 90 days. I've really been active, really only working it for a couple of those months. But so I'll tell a little bit about my story, and obviously if there's anything that I can do. But it goes without saying that whether you're in Dr. Peasley's group or Mike's group or Brandon's group or all Renee's group, all these great groups who's ever represented here, you know, they have the knowledge and everything, you know, that is available for you. So I don't really feel like I've earned the right to talk so much about LifeVantage, but I can definitely talk about the industry. I've been in a number of companies through the years. Got started in direct selling in college as a fluke. I answered an ad that sell security alarms. Didn't really realize it was direct selling. And matter of fact, I became the #1 salesman for that company. And I say salesman, I wasn't a recruiter. I didn't want to recruit anybody in that company because I was afraid they would steal my sales. That shows you what I knew about direct selling. Our family, we just never did that before. I only knew one direct seller, my mom's Tupperware lady, who I eventually did recruit. That was the company that I did get to meet Jeff Olson and Eric Worre and Alan Lowe and Paula Pritchard. And there were a number of elites that you would kind of look at today that are iconic, but they were all in this company. And so I had great training, and I think that's what it boils down to is, like Jim Rohn said, success leaves clues. But so we worked this company, and when I learned how to recruit, it was great, and made a lot of money as a young 20-something-year-old. The government closed down that company because of tariff laws, and I got out of the industry. Several years later, I came home from work, and by the way, my background is in advertising and public relations. That's what I've been doing for 20 years, along with really trying to be a professional and represent the direct selling industry well, treating it with the same regard I would any other investment, regardless of how much I had into it. But I got home from work one day. This was in the late '90s, and my hotshot cousin was there, who's a Schwab broker. Another guy. They were in suits, and they, long story short, they enrolled my wife and I in Amway. And I was mad. I didn't even know what Amway was, and I was mad for getting into it. But you know, I didn't make a whole lot of money. I did have two big legs, each had about 1,000 reps in it, but sadly, you know, that it wasn't how their comp plan worked. And so I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I really learned from people that had been in the industry for decades and decades.
Cuando abras la puerta, cierra la cajita, no dejes los números abiertos y hazlo salir al scramble.
If you just came on and you haven't muted your phone, please mute your phone. Somebody has not muted their phone that just came on. Thank you so much. Sorry, John.
No problem. And so I was in that, and I really developed some great friendships. And so after that kind of ended, and they went through a thing in the late '90s, early 2000s, where they went through a big shakeup in that company. And I got out in the industry again, and wasn't really active in the industry until I think about 2008, 2009, when there was a company, actually it was called FHTM Fortune, and all these people that came out of Excel, when landline phones pretty much died and that whole movement died, they all jumped into this high-tech company. And we did great. Paul Orbison, the #1 earner ever in network marketing, that made over $1 million a month in Excel. He led the charge in this, and it was great. One of our best products was deregulated gas, and that was a hot thing back in the day. And we were signing up greenhouses all through Michigan with big bills, and the residuals were great. Well, sadly, that company went through a little tiff and started to face. So I was pretty much, I was thinking of just maybe doing some consulting in the industry when that group from Fortune jumped into another product company, a health company, and it started off great. Their first year, we went gangbusters. I think we had about 1,700 reps. At over 100 on auto ship, and just things were really good. Broke a diamond in the second year, and then it kind of leveled off. And the product and the company is solid, and they're still going, and I wish them all well. But it was expensive, and you know, I saw people really struggle. A single product could cost you about $120 a month to be on. And if you're on multiple products, you could easily spend $300 or $400 per person in each household to get on all this stuff. And so that along with some leadership changes, I just kind of stifled in the third year, and we were just kind of in maintenance when Rich, a guy that I really, really respected, I known about LifeVantage earlier, about a year ago, through Jason, through Dr. Peasley, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. And I'm trained in a lot of this, and I just did not activation. So when Rich, who's a double board PhD pharmacist, sat me down and tried to explain this to me, I was a little bit baffled, but I knew, I could just tell by the voice there was something to this. And I went home and started researching, and I read some of the abstracts, National Institutes of Health, and I worked through that night. I really, I just kind of lost track of time reading and kind of researching on YouTube, finding some elite distributors. And there's another cool little backstory, but it'll take too long. I won't get into that. I'll share that at another time. But I called him the next day and said, I went in with the biggest package that you can do, because I've learned you get in at the top level. That's what people do. And you know, and we kind of got rolling with it. I really feel like we're not hitting momentum yet, but we are starting to get going. And I'm excited. I've never seen a product like this. I've never seen this whole phenomena. I've always been about self-care, and that is teaching the body to help itself, to heal itself. I do believe our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made, and I don't like, you know, a synthetic drug or even an herbal assault for too long on the body, because it can either way can create a lazy system. And this activation thing has me totally intrigued. I don't know if I completely get it yet, but I'm getting more and more excited each day. So that's just a little bit about my background. And
Well,
yeah, do you have
no, that's good. That's awesome, John. That's awesome. You guys hear the excitement in John's voice? I hope you guys do. I've said this all along, and Lisa and I have been talking about this recently. God is bringing, you guys know me, I'm very transparent. You just heard this. One of the connections that John and I have is that we're brothers, just from different mothers, and but the same dad. So, and guys, we are attracting these type of people. One thing I want you to talk about, John, before I move on is I want you to talk about this program that we're running called Launch 60. And I know I put you on the spot before about this, but just kind of tell me what, after you sat through a training that I did in Toledo and being in the industry, what your thoughts were about this and how important it is to get people tied into this phase 1 training and get them following the system that LifeVantage has created.
Sure. Yeah. And by the way, your training was amazing. We are really blessed in Ohio, from the Toledo team that's led by Dr. Peasley and the Cleveland group. I love their heart. I love their competence. I love their knowledge and professionalism. We're going to get Ohio rocking and rolling. But the training is phenomenal, guys. I look at this system from the moment we sign on. We can get right on in the new distributor training in that portal, the quick start training with the 21 videos and the quizzes and the PDFs. That is so amazing. We would always do a new distributor training like a once a month in previous companies. We don't have to do that. It's just all there for you. We can watch that, go through the videos in a few days once you enroll, and then maybe a month later with spaced repetition, go through them again until you really own that information. And it just comes down to basics. But when Mike and Brandon really introduced us to the Launch 60, I love this program for this reason. We enroll a new rep, but really until they get going, until they cross the line, as how Eric Worre describes it, what can we do to get them actually moving and engaged? In the 60 names, the 20 names that are people that support you, that love you, that are easy, they may not be big business builders, but they'll buy a few products. And then 20 entrepreneurs, people that just see things. They may not really even care about health or anything. They just see opportunity. They see things before other people do, and they recognize it, and they jump in. And then obviously health-minded people. You guys, we need to be talking to every health professional that we know, and network with people and ask, what providers, what health professionals do you know? Get me connected, because they're going to see a vast difference. I tell people this is not a Me Too product, it's NRF2, and we really need to, understand this activated concept and the fact that the world is chasing this, and we have this. We are the only ones. And to be in a category creating, thing with the timing, the state of the health of this planet right now, we're just in the perfect storm. People are looking for money, they're looking for help, and we have it. So Launch 60 is amazing because it's something that everyone can do. And if we can get people with help, with your sponsor, with your upline, to be able to move through these 60 names, you just know anybody that's moved through 10, 20, 30, 40 names, you get a good chunk of customers, you're signing up new reps, and you're in motion. You're getting nice checks thanks to this 40%, which is huge, guys. The last company I came from, our upfront bonuses were not nearly as generous. The biggest one was 25%. The PV to dollar ratio is even lower. So I mean, from the getting started money all the way to the elite money and everything in between, they really, this comp plan is amazing. I love it. So Launch 60 is great. You just need to buy into the system and be duplicatable, because it truly is. It's not what works, it's what duplicates.
Amen.
And everyone can do the Launch 60, and even to break that down into the smaller thing, the 10 and play, is just great. So I would challenge everybody, tonight or first thing in the morning, get your 10 and play and run those this week. We can't expect to have success by just talking to a couple people a week. I'm telling you, the last company I would run with one of the elite diamonds, and sometimes if I had a day off, we would run from 8 in the morning to 11, 12 o'clock at night. And that sounds crazy, but these are the guys that make the insane money, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. And people wonder, well, I could never be that. Well, of course you could. I would venture to say that the majority of people on the phone that we have tonight have more education and more sophistication than the person that I was talking to. He just hit it. He hit it with every day. It didn't matter if he was tired, good day, bad day. He didn't let success slow him down. He just hit it. And so I'm not saying you have to do that, but you do have to ramp up your effort and your exposures. And through all of the cool funneling and the apps and all the great videos, it makes it so easy to expose this business in such a short amount of time. So, I was taught, if you're stuck right now and you're kind of plateaued a little bit, you can fix anything with 100 business plans a month.
I agree. I agree, John. I agree totally.
And this is such a forgiving business. A lot of us that have owned traditional businesses with all the overhead, the bills keep coming in, whatever, but if we've had a couple bad months or whatever, guess what? Tomorrow's a brand new day. It's a forgiving business. We can start over, and it only takes one good rep who's excited that we can run with, and it's all good again. Awesome. But to do that, we have to get our list going and reprioritize and run those 10. I would recommend, minimum try to run that 10 in play every week. 40 a month. I think that would get everyone would have really good success, and you'd be rank advancing consistently if you did that and taught it throughout your team.
10 in play, John. I'm showing this, and if you guys don't have this, you can email me or text it to me. I can send it to you. It's in your back office. It's in the LV Move app. Guys, this is my wife's 10 in motion, okay? So, John, thank you so much for taking some time. Guys, this is the type of people
You're welcome.
That LifeVantage is attracting, okay? We are not close to the tipping point yet because we are attracting people like John and other people that are connecting through this opportunity because we're so early. So thank you again, John. I'm going to share a couple things. If you're still on and you haven't muted, please mute your phone, please. I'm going to share just a couple things that came to me through a leadership development meeting at one of our events. And so I've muted everybody. That should take care of that problem. Darren Jensen talked about momentum, and I want to talk about that a little bit today. Where we are and where we're going. Guys, look, every company goes through ups and downs. You guys know, I've told you this before, Apple was 24 hours away from bankruptcy about 12 years ago, okay? They didn't hit momentum till you're 33. Now, I'm not telling you that's going to happen with us because it's not. It's going to happen in the next 18 to 24 months. Hey, Lydia. and guys, you're in the right place at the right time. Keep blinders on, because you will get distracted. You will have people, guys, look, I'm just going to tell you this. I get offered to be at the top of other companies on a monthly basis. I am not recruitable. Even big money. I'm not recruitable, and you shouldn't be either, okay? So if you don't have your 10 in motion, get your 10 in motion. And in your back office, you should have what's called a leadership accountability planner. Guys, I'm just going to tell you this. If you're not filling this out, you can see John's name is on here on my accountability planner. Jason is on here. There's a lot of people on my accountability planner. Guys, if you're not filling out these two things, you're involved in a hobby. This can't be a hobby for you, okay? These launch calls, John, I've done 2 launch calls for John, but Brandon has done them for him. He's not doing anything that he's not willing to do himself. Lisa and I are doing another launch call on Monday that Dr. Jalusha is going to do for us. So, guys, we're not doing anything that we're not asking you to do. If you have not scheduled a launch call, I don't care how many you schedule. If you want to schedule 6 of them or 8 of them, schedule at least 3 and do them, and then make a decision. So this is the average network marketing industry, is when a distributor enrolls 2.5 people. Now think about it, okay? The LifeVantage is at 2.8. So we're above the average. We're in the top 3%, okay? Why? Because we have the greatest product in the history of the industry. You guys have heard Eric Worre say it. He even takes Protandem. John Maxwell has partnered with us. He's taking Protandem. You need 3.2 enrollments to send a company into momentum, okay? 3.2. We're getting close to that tipping point, okay? New training is to create momentum in this area. It takes groups exploding to hit these numbers. And I'm going to use my mentor in this business. We all have been blessed to have Brandon and Lynette Cunningham as our mentors. He called me today. I was hitting some golf balls, and we were just talking about where things are going. And you know, he said this. He said, look, he said some of the very same things John did. 95% of us joined this for the product. But the product shouldn't be what keeps you here. It should be what drives you. But you're here to make money, okay? And God has blessed us with this opportunity to make money, okay? And you guys heard it. This bullet point right here. It doesn't matter what works. It matters what duplicates. Think about that. It doesn't matter what works. It matters what duplicates. And so I'm going to finish with this, since you heard John talk about launch calls. How do you get someone to do a launch call? Okay? How do you get someone to do a launch call? Duplicate it up. I love that, Jason. Build it up. Ask questions. Have you already started to talk to people about this? Chris and I talk about this all the time. We tell people not to talk about it. We schedule their launch call right at the time of enrollment. Do you want to make a little bit of money or a lot of money? And then duplication is the only thing that matters. Let's make an awkward conversation easier. Guys, that's what launch calls do. I did 3 of them tonight before these calls. I did 3 last night. I've done 3 every night. I do between 12 and 15 of them a week. I don't care what rank you are. If you've not done one and you're not doing them, you're missing the mark, okay? I just told you, John's doing them, I'm doing them, my wife is doing them. Guys, this is a database book that my wife just put together with close to 100 and some names on it. Guys, we're not doing anything that we're not telling you guys to do, okay? So what I want to finish was, here's your 3 main goals of a launch call, okay? 200 PV, and distribute your product you receive in your package, and to have 10 in motion. Look, get your 200 PV, okay? You should be able to do that by doing a launch call. I did one last night for a new person. She had 5 people on the call. She got 4 PCs out of it. They were multiple purchases. She got 200 PV, right off the bat. She doesn't have to worry about it next month. She's got it right off the bat. And you guys, Brandon uses this description all the time. He says, when you go out and purchase products for your grocery store, you open up a grocery store, is the products that you're purchasing for you or for the people that come in? It's not for you. It's not for you. I just got a distributor re-engaged in the business and saved her from going to termination because she used the product that was in her Vantage Pack for 10 months and she went on suspension. Okay? Don't do that. This is a business, and get your 10 in motion. So if you do not have your 10 in motion list, get your 10 in motion list and get your accountability. Guys, take a picture of this and send it to me. Okay? And I'll just tell you, if you're doing this, you're growing. Brandon does this. He's a pro 10 and he does this. He shows me his grid every week and we share each other's grid. I've got LV Life Vantage Academy. Guys, if you're in Ohio, you have Life Vantage Academy in Cleveland. If you're in Atlanta, you have it in Atlanta. Here's the 10 in motion sheet right here. Get yourself a 10 in motion sheet. Get it going. Get your accountability sheet going. Guys, we couldn't be at Life Vantage at a more exciting time. I just wanted to thank you guys all for jumping on the call. John, thank you again for being on the call. Guys, tonight has been awesome. I didn't know a lot of stuff about John that I think all of you would agree. The most important thing that I think we have at Life Vantage is the people. The people that we're attracting, the people that we get to spend time with, and the people that we get to build this with. So do yourself a favor. The person who gets to know the most people wins. So get to know John, get to know Jason, get to know Chris, get to know people in your area, okay? And hopefully I'll see you guys again next Thursday. Next Thursday, I'm going to do the last law of John Maxwell's 15 laws, and I'm going to have another special guest that you guys won't want to miss. God bless you all. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your Thursday night and have an amazing, amazing weekend. God bless you guys. Thanks a lot.